while back, I made a video where I was saying that killers seem to be like the major targets for why won't you let me win speak. And what I meant by that was not that, oh, killers don't ever complain or don't ever expect their opponents to just let them win, but that it always seemed to be more put toward killers. Right? Like all of the complaints within this community, all of the, oh my God, why won't my opponent just stop being mean to me, almost always seems to go toward killers and not come from them. Like I said, this doesn't mean that it never happens. It just seems to be the vast majority. And recently, a very odd thing has been occurring within the community that kind of gives me even more, not ammunition, more reason to think that this is exactly what is going on. Now, I'm far too lazy to dig up the Reddit post, but basically what's been happening, or what I've been seeing probably about once a week now for the past couple of months, has been people asking killers if they feel bad when they kill survivors. And the answer is obviously no. Of course not. Fuck them kids. It's really stupid, in my opinion, to ask whether or not I feel bad for winning a video game. Now, in some aspects, I think it's very common for people to be like, wow, this build or this weapon or anything like that within a PvP game is diabolical. I kind of feel bad for, you know, how like unfair this feels or something like that. But that's not what's being asked here. What's being asked here is whether or not you as the killer player feel bad for playing the role that you're meant to. And this is never asked of survivors, by the way. I've never seen anybody go, survivors, do you guys feel bad when you finish gens? Do you feel bad when you escape? I don't know, man. I sometimes kind of feel bad. And the more that I started to think about it, the more that I realized that this question and subsequent questions like it all seem to stem from this weird association that Dead by Daylight players have where they attach morality to gameplay. This has been something that I've noticed for a very long time in the DBD community. Honestly, like when I first started, I'm going to tell you guys like a short little story, okay? When I first started Dead by Daylight, I was probably like 10 hours into my playtime, and I was playing the Ghostface on Dead Dog Saloon, and I ended up downing an Auto, and when I went to pick her up, I got flashlight blinded, and then I went after the Auto again, because she was injured, and so I had to get her again. And basically what ended up happening is her entire team was always there for a flashlight save or a pallet save or some kind of save. They were doing sabotage type things and they were using breakout, and I didn't know what was happening because, again, I have 10 hours in the game. And after the game was finished, I eventually got all 4 of them dead because they weren't doing any fucking generators. After the game, they all came in to basically lambaste me and yell at me for tunneling the Auto. And I couldn't even tell you if I actually was tunneling. I probably was, because newer killer players are like, injured person must chase injured now, go after injured person, right? Type of deal. And so they were all like yelling at me and asking me why I was being such an asshole and all of this. So it's always been a thing that I've noticed where if you play to win the game, you are more often than not asked why you're toxic, why you're a dickhead. And the more that I played this game, the more I interacted with this community, the more that this started to pop up all over the place, where people basically started equating a play style to who you are as a person. If you watch a lot of Spook and Jukes, Aaron Duke back in his old days, Choi, etc., you see this kind of thing happen all the time, where streamers will like attach this kind of, where streamers will like start psychoanalyzing their opponents. They'll be like, oh my God, bro, like if you're doing this, you're a psychopath, you're a sociopath, if you tunnel, if you camp, if you teabag at the gates. And while I'm not saying that there's not toxic things that you can do that definitely can make you a bit of a dickhead, I also don't understand tying morality to playstyles. One of my biggest pet peeves in this game, especially as a killer player, is running into a squad who's running some sort of anti-hook build, which basically means boil over, boon exponential, breakdown, those kind of things, and then they'll go to like the very top where you have to drop off to go hook them, and it basically makes them unhookable. And this is one of the most boring, uninteractive, lame fucking playstyles in Dead by Daylight. And never once have I thought that the people who are running those builds are bad people because that's who they decided to run. Another example of this is Skull Merchant. Back when before she got gutted, people were like actually attaching psychoanalyst type. They were like, people who play Skull Merchant are actually just fucking massive dickheads who hate everybody. They don't like other human beings and they don't like other people to have fun, and that's why they're playing Skull Merchant. It's like, you need to calm down. And this all ties back to that whole, do you feel bad if you kill survivors? Because you're attaching morality to trying to win a video game. You're attaching morality to the way people play the game. And I think that that's just completely disconnected from how reality works. The Dead by Daylight community is one of the most selfish, entitled, toxic communities in gaming, bar none. I have never dealt with a community that is more wrapped up in their own asses than the DBD community. And a big part of that is saying that the way people play in a video game, or the characters they play, somehow match who they are in real life. I saw this post. I'll try to see if I can find it again, but I saw this post on Reddit where this Wesker player like insta DC'd, and when asked why in the in-game chat, he was like, "'Cause all Sables are toxic fucking pieces of shit. I hate playing against Sables. They're so fucking toxic." Dude, it's a character in a video game. Don't get me wrong, there is some psychoanalysis to go with who you prefer to play in video games. Probably speaks to your personality in some form of fashion, but not your morality, right? Like, there's probably some connection between people who like playing trap-based killers and people who enjoy, you know, more strategic-based things, or maybe people who tend to think a lot more. And there's probably a connection between people who play very fast-paced, high-skill characters and how much of an overachiever that person is. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think it'd be an interesting thing for like a psychology student who knows way more about psychology than I do to study. But I don't think that you can tie the way somebody plays in a video game to their morality. And that's not to say that there's not actions that you can take within the game. For example, I think that killer players who 4-man slug survivors and then just wait the 4 minutes for them to bleed out, there's definitely something wrong there, right? Because there's no other reason outside of wanting other people to suffer for you to play like that. But on the contrary, if a killer player 4-man slugs you and then hooks all of you so the game can, you know, end, that's not a morality thing. That's just how that killer is trying to play the game. The same thing happens with survivors. I remember this one time, I got my teeth kicked in. This one time, as if I'm not always getting my teeth kicked in this fucking game. The survivors kicked my teeth in, and so I went down, put my killer in the corner of the basement, and then I drove to the fucking store and picked up some food, and then came home 30 minutes later, and the game was still going, because they were all just in the basement teabagging me instead of opening the gates and leaving. There's probably something wrong there, right? There's probably something a little fucked up in the head there. But survivors who fucking finished all 5 gens in 3.5 minutes and then try to leave, they're just playing the game. They're just trying to win. So yeah, that's my whole thing. That's what I wanted to kind of sit down and ramble about today, is stop attaching morality to Dead by Daylight. You really need to stop treating the way people play the game or the characters that they play as if it says something about who they are as a person, because it's really fucking weird, and it's leading y'all to ask really bizarre questions like, do I feel bad for winning the video game? And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, first discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.